Hey everyone, this is Tom with Escape Artist and Escape Dates, and I am honored to be in the presence today of Ted McGrath. He's the CEO and founder of RizeGlobal, and we've had an opportunity over the last weekend to really get to know each other. Ted came in from San Diego and flew into Atlanta, and just we had a great time.
I brought the weather.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, what was my email to you? I was like, oh boy, bring warm clothes. And I said, if you don't have them, I have plenty for you. And shoot, 65, 70 degrees.
Not bad, right?
Even went for a convertible ride today, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah. So, what were we talking today? I want to find out a little bit about you. I want the Escape Artist readers to know what you're doing with not only Escape Dates, but with your own personal business. And I think what I'd like to do is just start it with just kind of a, what have been the pivotal points in your life? Give us a little rundown of where you've been and what brought you up to here, if you can do that in just a couple minutes.
Yeah, I'll do it in a couple minutes. I think that there's been several pivotal points. I'll start one with athletics, and I'll give the brief story on this. I don't think anything's taught me to thrive more in business and in life than athletics. As I told you, I played collegiate athletics. Long story short, I walked on, was never supposed to start for the team, and lost 28 out of 30 matches because I did get to start because two players went down. You never know when you're going to get your shot.
Right.
So two players went down, lost 28 out of 30 matches, and had a turning point where I had won a big match against a team that I wasn't even supposed to be playing against, and I won. Mm-hmm. And psychologically, I turned it around, and it showed me a pivotal point in my life. It showed me that one thing can change everything. And so I took that into the business world, and I also took the fact that mentors and coaches are really, really important. And when I was 21, my dad went bankrupt, and then I got hired into the insurance business, and I had no intentions of getting in the insurance business. I know that you were in the insurance business.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I started there and had a lot of success at a young age. Was one of the top producers in the office at 21 years old, and got promoted into management with people that I had no concept of how to relate to people on a business level and manage them or lead them, let alone. And moved up in the company, and then became a partner, and then eventually I became the number 5 partner out of 500 partners with the number 1 life insurance company in the country, and realized that everything that I thought I wanted wasn't what I wanted, and I left. And when I left, the other turning point for me was I got to reflect back on my life, and I've always had this passion to help other people. I've always had this passion to live a passionate life. And I realized the missing ingredient for me was I was great at business, but I was really poor at being fulfilled and happy in my life.
Right.
And so I struggled with addictions, had lots of family addictions, had addictions with alcohol myself, and realized for me to truly serve humanity, I had to trade my problem.
What's Covey say? He says that so many people climb the ladder of success in life
only to realize it's standing against the wrong wall.
Yeah,
right?
Right. Yeah.
That's what happened to me. It probably happened to you too,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I wanted to raise my hand on addictions and everything that you said.
Yeah.
Insurance. I did the same thing. I mean, I had a passion to be a pilot and found out I was colorblind, so I did the next best thing. I went into insurance business.
Well, I did the next best thing too. I thought it was a magazine I was interviewing for, and it turned out to be an insurance company. I took the job because I had no other real options.
Yeah.
But it turned out to be a great business, and I learned so much in terms of discipline, and I took that from athletics. And what I needed to learn then was about life, and I needed to solve the challenges that I had. I lost family members to alcohol, and I realized that if I'm really going to go serve, I can serve 90% and probably do a great job, but if I can't solve that other 10% problem that could wreck the other 90%,
sure,
I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. And so I was able to solve that problem with a scientific process that we use in our business, and I don't drink anymore. I never will. And I'm excited to be helping people with their passion and to really trade their problems. Like, what is your problem that you need to trade so you can go out and live a successful life?
Right. Yeah. So you have you have this clarity we talked about this weekend. It's like addicted to clarity, huh?
Addicted to clarity.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Now it's like I feel so much better, and so now my whole life's work is about helping people take their passion and do what it is that they love and turn it into a profitable business. And I had the profitable business point, but I didn't have the passion. And so now I've merged the passion and the profitable business, and I realized that to do that, it's really all personal. It's when you come to that place with yourself where you have that clarity, and then you have that center point, and you know who you are. And when you know who you are, we all have a story and a message to share that can change people's lives.
And Covey has a saying, find your voice and then help others find yours. It sounds like you've done that.
To the tilt.
To the tilt. Tell us about, you know, I think there's sayings that say when you find the why, the how will appear. I guess you found the why, and it was a pivotal point in your life. You know, whether it's the 40 days in the desert or the time under the Bodhi tree, or you know, whatever you've done in your life, there's all of a sudden this existential experience that both you and I have shared that experience and what we've been through. And a lot of people have had it. We know people have, and we're sitting here admitting our faults and our transformation. So if you're like us, great, we love you. If you're perfect and don't have any problems, well, you may not relate with us. So when you look at what you're doing now with a passion to profits, did you have a mentor that brought you up into this business and helped you, or was just all of a sudden you became clear and you reflected on life and you said, that didn't work?
No, I had a mentor.
You had a mentor, okay.
I mean, I don't believe you can do anything without a coach and or a mentor to guide you. When I was 21, the guy that I interviewed, his name's Mo, sat across the table from me, and I truly believe that my success was created through his vision. Because I couldn't see what I didn't know yet. And so I sat there in the chair, and he looked at me and said, there's no reason I should hire you, no logical reason. He said, you're young, you're 21 years old, you failed the profile test, so technically I can't even hire you. You know that profile test they give you, right? Yeah. And I said, was
that the Briggs-Meyer test?
Something like that. And I said, well, I really want to be here. He says, there's no logical reason I should hire you, but he says, but if you can commit to coming in here and doing $200,000 in income your first year, I'll hire you.
Right.
And I was dumb enough to believe that I could do it. And I was very close to doing the $200,000 income. Did 6 figures my first year in the business. But it was because his belief in me, because most of my life I didn't have faith. I was one of these drivers who grounded out and never had the bigger faith to guide me through it. And I learned from him, have faith, you know, believe. And he was a huge, it was incredibly instrumental in my growth. And without him, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And you know, you've heard my story. I may be dead if it weren't for him.
Yeah. I use an analogy with people. I talk about riding a bicycle, and I don't know where I got this from. I may have read it in a book, so if I did, I'll share that credit with somebody else. But, you know, when you talk about belief versus knowing, there's a point where all of a sudden, you know, if you learn to ride a bike, when you first see somebody riding a bike, you're a child, and you go, oh, wow, he has, you know, 2 arms and 2 legs and is riding that bike, and I could do that. And then you believe you can do it. You still have some anxiety. You jump on the bike, and you get on it. And of course, I got my chin right here. So a lot of people
have my teeth.
Your teeth.
Yeah.
So you know, when you obviously make mistakes, and all of a sudden you've learned how to ride the bike. All of a sudden, successfully, you know how to ride the bike. Now you have a knowing. Okay, and then that knowing comes. I tell people, if you didn't ride a bike for 5 or 10 years. And you were dying of water, thirst, or whatever, or had to ride to go redeem your winning lottery ticket, and I whipped out a bike and said the only way you can do it is if you ride this bike. Do you believe you can ride that bike, or do you know you can ride that bike?
You know you can.
Yeah. Did you have? Is there a moment in your life where you had that transition from believing to knowing?
I talk about that all the time.
Do you?
Yeah, I talk about that all the time.
We talked about that this week, and I just brought that up, and I've always liked that analogy, but I was curious if you had. Experience like that.
The knowing for me, I've always said to people that the knowing for me is when you clear out the fear, the doubt, the uncertainty, which we all have at some time or another. And when you're able to clear all that out, there's this center point inside you that regardless of what's thrown at you, you're totally unshakable because you know exactly why you're here on this planet. And I actually believe that everybody knows. Yeah. I think people have forgotten. People are distracted with other things because they're so addicted with the mind. I call it opportunity ADD, where they're chasing all the other opportunities out there, and they're following people saying, hey, the grass is greener on the other side. Well, the grass is greener where you water it. And when you're watering, you know, who you are, and you're purifying and cleansing and getting clear on exactly who you are, at the end of the day, when you're tuned into that, you know that nothing can stop you. There's no external force out there that could cause you to get off path. Now, you might get off temporarily, but in terms of a permanent vacation, it'll never happen. You'll always find your way back to why you know you're here. And I remember at 23, I was looking at a journal the other day. We used to take these classes called Goal Cultivator, and I remember writing in there, I want to inspire people to transform their lives and live their passion.
Got to be careful what you write down.
I know, right? I know. And looking back, and I still write that same thing today, that like part of my purpose and my vision is I want to inspire people to transform their lives and live their passion. And that transform their lives portion is a huge, huge component, because if you can't solve that problem, and that's why I believe in the breakthrough technology. People always say, well, you're really great at helping people with their passion and helping them with tools to become more profitable and charge more. I still firmly believe that the breakthrough component is so critical, because if you can't get through that ceiling, if you can't transform that fear, doubt, or uncertainty, you'll never get to the place of knowing. And if you don't know, you can't fully realize your potential.
I think when you said through your mentor, I mean, you saw him being successful, Mo, and I guess you looked at him and you believe you could do it, and then he probably took you out on some sales calls and you made some sales and you developed that knowing feeling. And in your business, you've stepped out as an entrepreneur and you've done the same thing. And I mean, if you've been an entrepreneur and you haven't failed, something's wrong with you.
Absolutely. I remember the first time he encouraged me. I'd never done public speaking. He encouraged me to do it. I got up for the first time and did it. And I remember pacing back and forth in front of the room, right? Yeah. Where I literally practiced relentlessly for 2 weeks straight, 9 hours a day, getting up in front of the room, going back and forth, back and forth. I think maybe 2 people in the audience heard me. Those are the 2 clients out of 80 that I got that allowed me to go further. And I remember really practicing relentlessly like I did in athletics. And another time having a really bad experience where I came in on Monday morning after being out partying all weekend, had all kinds of junk in my system, thought I knew my stuff because I knew it, and slipped up. And I remember breaking out into total sweats in front of the audience. Not just a sweat, like you look at my shirt, it was covered and drenched like I just got out of the pool because I forgot my lines, man. And so those types of failures are they just teach you lessons. It's not a failure, it's just a lesson for the next step on the journey.
Yeah.
We all go through it, right?
Yeah. You know, one thing I mentioned this weekend, and you shared a book with me, and I had this saying, until you start asking the right questions, you'll continue to get the wrong answers. What are some of the questions that you've asked yourself that have transformed, that have helped you transform?
I've asked 3 every day. Who am I? What do I want from my life today? And what is my purpose?
That's awesome.
Those are the 3 that I always ask. Who am I? What do I want from my life today?
Now we have to charge for this video.
I know, right?
Because that's so profound.
Yeah. I always ask that, and I always say when you ask questions like that, I'm not looking for the answer in the moment. The answers will show up in my life experiences when I step in and trust and have faith that, okay, I'm going to step into this moment and who I am will be revealed. If I just stay the way that I am and I don't stretch myself, then who I am is just going to be somebody from the past. Mm-hmm. I need to step in and be challenged every day, and that's where my full potential and my best self shows up.
Where will your business be in 10 years?
I have a vision, and regardless of what I do, I can't turn it off, right? Yeah. So it's this part of me that says this. For some reason, I've been gifted this technology, the scientific process, through another mentor. And so I am really great at helping people with their passion, turn it into a profitable business. But I founded a science, I found it, I didn't create it, that's changed my life. And I've helped so many people. Like there's people that I've helped get off, medications and things that had panic disorders. There's athletes that I've helped, change their confidence so they could win 8 races in a row and turn pro. I mean, I've done so many things on a human level that have nothing to do with business, and as a result of the woman we got off anxiety medications, there's a child who's in the world today because of that. Wow. As a result of helping, I found out at my last workshop, I had no idea. I knew that she was off the medications. I had no idea that now they're 9 weeks pregnant. And this was like 6 months ago, so the baby's probably almost born soon. And those types of things that I've had an impact on, I wonder why not just the business route, why all these other things have shown up. And what I've realized is that my gift is I'm a great leader, and I'm really great at inspiring people to say, you know what, I can go for it. I can go live my passion, live my vision, and regardless of what it costs, I'm going to do it. And I'm great at standing there with people and walking the path. And so creating a community of entrepreneurial-minded people, because that's who I like to be around, who are passionate, who are prosperous, right? Because prosperity is important. Sure. Right? Not only passionate, but prosperous. And also who are tapped into their personal power of who they are. Imagine 100,000 of those people that we can train in our scientific technology to teach them how they can go and help people solve their problems. And this technology doesn't just work with individuals, it works with relationships, it works with groups and bringing them to their full potential, it works with corporations, and ultimately sustainability of the planet. So imagine 100,000 people trained in this technology who could go out and work on real world issues like drugs and hunger and famine and third world education and things that are really important. I know I'm here to play a world role, not just a business role. And so 5 years from now, I want to have 100,000 of them trained. And 10 years from now, I want to be working with those 100,000 that are trained to make an impact in the world.
It's a big vision. I mean, you're a conscious thought leader. I mean, when you look at what you're doing, I admire you for that. And I think that it brings up a question. I heard you say something about I'm a leader.
Mm-hmm.
You know, are leaders born or are they made?
Well, I'll tell you what, might have been a little bit born and a little bit made.
I got you.
But because I think that I have always had that within me. I think every person has what I call a best self. It's like when you go to your best self, you realize that when I go there, I'm powerful, I am confident, I'm inspired, I'm healthy, I'm vibrant, I'm dynamic, I'm all those things.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody has those qualities. The question is, are they going to consciously work on it to bring it out every single day? So I believe everybody has a leader within them, just in different ways. And at the end of the day, I've had great leaders and coaches that have taught me.
Right.
So without my tennis coach that made me serve on my knees for 6 months to relearn how to play the game, without that discipline, I wouldn't be the leader that I am. Without a mentor in business to lead me and show me a bigger vision, I wouldn't be where I'm at. Mm-hmm. So I believe to a certain degree we have those qualities, and then the path that we take, our destiny reveals itself, and other great leaders help us become better leaders ourselves.
Mm-hmm. You know, when we talk about integrity, what does integrity mean to you?
Integrity, first and foremost, means being true to yourself.
True to yourself. Okay.
Because if you can't be true to yourself initially, how can you be true to other people?
Right, and then being true to yourself starts with self-awareness.
Yeah, I think self-awareness, but also being aligned with your values. So self-awareness to know what's going on, because I believe if you want to change anything, awareness is the first step towards transformation.
That brings up a good example. What has helped shape, what philosophy, is there something out there that's helped shape your values? Because I believe, if I'm correct, when you look at the definition of a value has to have a mean to have a specific value. So a mean would be like a principle. So I revert to either a philosophy or a religion or a faith or something. What has helped you shape your values? What's been
It's a great question, and I think my values were initially shaped externally by looking at the world, because my number one value used to be success.
Yeah, sure.
And so that value was, and to me a value is something that's most important to me. And so when I was at New York Life, it was always success. This is what's most important to me. And what I realize is a value is absolutely meaningless if you don't feel it every day.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, if my number one value is success, but I don't feel successful, what's even the point of saying it? If my number one value is integrity and I run around saying I'm the most integrous person, but I don't act that way and I don't feel that way, what's the point of having a value? So first and foremost, what is the value, but are you feeling it every day? Because for 7.5 years in New York Life, I never really felt successful. So what was the point of even having it? Yeah. And ultimately what I've realized is I love being out, I love being a great leader, I love being on stage, but what I've also realized is what I enjoy more than anything is even when I'm in front of an audience, it's connecting with that audience.
Or helping people get babies.
It's helping people get babies.
Yeah, right. What a compensation.
Right, Speaking of escape dates, right? We'll get to that one later.
We might want to add a disclaimer to that one.
Right. But I think for me, the values have become, now my number one value in the transition recently is love.
Yeah.
Because it's that connection with other people that's most important.
Very cool, very cool. In talking about, in an economy, we talk about thriving or surviving. You and I have talked a bit about this weekend. What's the difference between those two?
Well, that's a great question, and we're creating something on that, you and I, which is awesome. And I think that the difference is most people are in survival because they're allowing outside factors to determine who they are and what their self-worth is. And they're looking at the economy and saying, okay, I'm hearing the bad news, I'm seeing companies crumbling, and oh my God, the world's ending. But the people who are thriving are looking at this and saying, you know what? We get to start from scratch again. We get to build up and be the creators of the new world. I mean, how exciting is that? So the people who are thriving are looking at it and saying, wow, there's an amazing opportunity. There's an amazing solution within this problem. The people who are surviving are saying, oh my God, look at this problem. And rather than solving it and coming up with an amazing solution where they could innovate, they're looking and they're creating a problem by blaming other people. And I always say there's the real problem and there's the created problem. The created problem wastes your energy on something you've created because you're blaming other people. The real problem needs a real solution. And us thrivers are about real solutions and innovating and creating the next generation of leaders that are going to change the world and maybe make the world what it's never been.
Okay, so if we put survival in one category right here and thriving over here, what is the one thing, the middle line, that is the difference between the two? What's one thing?
For me, I'll just speak personally. I think stepping out with faith.
Faith. Okay.
Yeah, I think stepping out with faith that, you know what, here's the known, and then here's the unknown.
Okay. So in an element, I'm sorry to cut you off on that, but is the element of that faith, is there an educational component in that faith? Is there something that brings that, or is it just blind faith?
No, there's an educational component. There's an educational component. Number one, I have an exercise that allows me to get to that place where I can have that faith. And number two, we have a 7-step formula that we use that you don't just have to go with blind faith. It's the 7-step formula of passion to profits breakthrough. And we take people through a step-by-step process that not only is solid in business principles, but it's scientific and just principles in general.
What in discovering Escape Artist? Tell me about your thought patterns from the first time you heard about Escape Artist to where you are now. What has been in getting involved with us with Escape Dates and helping our community with your material? What's been your thought process?
The interesting thing for me is probably one of the most important things to me is actually traveling. There's other things that are more important, but traveling is a component of my life that is something that's important. I love doing it. And what I've realized is I'm not doing enough of it to where it's, I'm traveling based on business and things like that. I'm traveling based on opportunities that show up. But the opportunity to go travel to really cool destinations and have some free time and meet really great people was the first thing that I looked at and said, wow, this is a missing component to my life. And how powerful would it be to have this community? The other missing component was just socially. And I'm working all the time. And it's like I have an addiction to my work. I got to turn it off at times, right?
You don't work, right? You don't work a day in your life if you love what you do.
I love it.
So that's how I justify it.
Yeah, so me too. I'm a justifier on that too. And
we should enable each other.
We should, right?
So
we should
keep working.
Yeah, right. But that was the turning point for me when I started to get what you're really creating here. And the other aspect of Escape Dates is, I'm big on human connection, like in person. So I guess I'm more of a kinesthetic person. So to have that opportunity, not just to connect online.
There's a lot of ladies out there that like to hear that you're a kinesthetic person.
I know, right? Well, hey, right? What am I going to marry?
Phone's ringing.
What am I going to marry my computer, right?
Yeah, right, yeah.
So yeah, to have that opportunity to just to connect with people in a social environment is a big aspect of it. And then on top of that, I can grow my network. Like, it's a whole other channel for me to share my message and my story and who I am within the community that you're building. And virally, that could be a huge piece. And I didn't even see that initially until you showed that to me.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, how you could actually, somebody even who's a novice gardener or a novice person in a particular group could embark on a mission to create a global social network and really become an authority in that subject. Like, if you went out and found 5 or 10 or 20 other success coaches, and all of a sudden you've got 10,000 of them in your network, in your blogging, they're seeing you as the authority because everybody in that group is, they're getting your material.
And you just gave me a great idea because that's actually the market that I really want to work with more coaches. We're doing it now. I want to work with a lot more coaches, and this could be a great avenue for me to attract that in a very not an all over the place fashion, because we have so many other things going on, but this could be a community that I take a leadership role in doing that and attracting those types of people.
Can anybody do what you do?
I believe anybody can do what I do in the sense of their passion, right? If anybody can live their passion, that's my thing. So the question is, what's fascinating about you, right? What's fascinating about the person you right now that I'm talking to? When you figure that out, what's fascinating about you, you can do anything on the planet, because when you know what's fascinating about you, you know what your passion is, and you can go live it. And not everybody wants to do what I do, You know, not everybody wants to do what you do.
Right.
It's not part of their destiny and their what they're unique and talented at.
That's great. And so, with what you're doing with Escape Dates, I know that you're promoting your business on there, and you just got an idea that you could actually probably replicate and help other people become success coaches. Is that what I hear you saying?
Yeah, we're already doing that, but I could start up a whole community on Escape Dates of people who are interested in coaching materials to become coaches, and that's part of my bigger mission. And we have a coaching leadership academy as an event that we have, and we put on this workshop, which is a 2-day workshop, but to create a community on Escape Dates that could help add to the mission, that would be huge.
Well, what about coming, like if we're doing weekly or monthly or quarterly events, can we have you come in and speak on that?
Of course.
Twist
my arm.
Loaded question
Twist my
there.
arm, right?
Well,
yeah, I love it. I love sharing. You know that.
You know,
great.
You have a great attitude. It looks like we always say attitude determines your magnitude, and you feel like, from on a Richter scale, you're at a 10 level right now. You're leveraging time, technology, and talent. I know that you have a personal assistant, and you have a team of people that work with you.
I have a great team. I'm so supported in that. I'm really fortunate. I mean, I that's been the difference me in the last year. With some of our clients, we've literally doubled the investment they pay us in the last month.
That's great. That's
great.
great.
And so that's a huge part, is having that confidence to step out there and know that I'm fully supported and that we can serve our clients, and we're even adding additional components of business that we can serve them better, and that's giving us a greater share of the client. And I have team members on there who are internet marketers. I have personal assistants. I have salespeople. I have a sales team. I have an amazing group of people, and that's a huge part of why I'm happy and successful.
We talk about envisioning your success first and envisioning where you want to go. What is and we talk, some people want to live in a different country every month of the year. We have one couple that's very cool. They're traveling to a different country. Retired as an air traffic controller, and he and his wife, she's an artist, they're traveling to a different country every year for 10 years. I mean, how cool would that be? What's your escape artist dream?
About 8 years ago or so, I was always writing. I had these journals, right? In fact, 5 years ago, I was writing in a journal, I want to live in California, I want to live in California, I want to live in California. I was supposed to move to Cleveland, Ohio at that time for a promotion we got. And literally, I ended up 6 months later in California, not with any specific plan, but part of my destiny was being here. And I was also writing, years before that I would love to have houses in Spain and Italy and France. And now, not so much. I don't want to have properties, right? Because I don't want to be tied down to anything. But I definitely want to travel internationally. I definitely want to go all over the globe. And in terms of living somewhere, because of my profession that I'm traveling and I get to speak everywhere, I don't want to settle down somewhere necessarily right now. So I just want to be able to travel the globe, go see all different parts of the world, meet all different kinds of people, and have a global impact that's not just here in the United States. Right now, we have a great reputation in the United States. Now we're going globally in the physical sense, where I want to be able to do workshops and things there. So my escape artist dream is to follow the parties that are going to happen at Escape Dates.
There you go.
No, really, because now we're going to go to destinations, and I'm going to be like, wow, that place is cool. I want to spend a month in vacation there. And I'm already thinking about, when I talked to you about Colombia and Medellin, I was asking you questions today. I'm asking questions because I want to go for like a month and work there and bring my team there. I mean, what, do you fly them over there, rent a house that's cost really nothing, and I could have my whole team work virtually there for a month, which could be part vacation and part, that's an escape artist dream.
Learn a whole new culture. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool to take. And I know with escape artists, we have, I think our team, we're on probably 6 different countries we're based out of, so it's a very virtual company. But you have the ability, it's cool where you think about just taking your entire team with you, renting a big house.
Right.
And,
but I wouldn't know.
That could be like a reality show.
It could be. Well, we already talked about that. We talked about doing a reality show. We really have talked about that. But that's the thing that's really funny, is the more that you and I are connecting and develop a relationship, I'm asking you questions about these areas. And if I didn't have somebody to ask those questions to, that's the whole purpose of Escape Dates. You have a community of people you can bounce things off of and know their experiences of where they've been. Because I went to France, 5 years ago, and I just picked up and went. I had no travel, and I just picked up and went and said, destiny, everything will work out, and it did. But it would have been nice to know, where are the places to go and spend time with, and it would have been nice to go in a group. I went by myself.
Yeah, we've got great people in
Yeah.
France. I mean, just that's a great example of what escape dates can do for you. Is you have the ability to contact people that live there and they're just like you. I mean, if they wanted to come to San Diego, they could say, "Hey, I'm coming to San Diego. What are the top 5 things I should do?" And stay out of the tourism zones.
Yeah.
You know, to really get the true experience of San Diego or France.
Yeah.
You know, for that matter. So. You know, what are you've given 3 great nuggets, and you know, when you're talking to escape artist readers, and this is probably one of our first vlog interviews on escape dates profiles that we've done. You're using escape dates to promote your business. You have a very successful business already. You have an escape artist stream. You know, what do you tell the escape artist reader that is, we talk about the 4 F's, fear, family, finances, and friends.
Yeah.
What is the one thing that you could help our readers with the most out of those 4 F's that prevents people from really fulfillment? It's the old question is, you know, what's my purpose in life, or what's my passion in life? But what's the one thing your program, if they were to come to your profile and join your global social network, what's the one thing that you know you could help them with?
So there's fear, finances, family,
and friends.
Yeah,
I think I added a 4th one on.
Right.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that really stop people from going out and living their escape artist dream, which is those. You know what? I out of my 7 steps, I would pick 1 right now that would help. And here's the thing. We call it the Transformational Branding Blueprint, but really what it says is every person on the planet has something that's fascinating about them. It's the thing that you've been doing your whole life. It's the thing that you love doing. It energizes the heck out of you. It energizes others. You could do it all freaking day, and at the end of the day, you'd have more energy than when you started. It's that gift that everybody has, and for some reason, for whatever reason, we don't believe, or we've had bad experiences, or somebody told us we couldn't do it, and we've turned that off. And so my biggest thing is I can help any person in the world turn that back on if it's off, or go to the next level with that, to really help you so that fear won't get in the way, because I have a scientific process to help you break through that. Family and friends will be supporters because they'll see you honoring your gifts of what's unique and fascinating about you. And when you believe in yourself, the outside world will believe in you. And then at the end of the day, I can show you exactly how to take what's fascinating about you, because I believe we're in the fascination economy right now. I don't believe we're in the product economy. If you want to start competing on products, you're going to get commoditized and you're going to feel totally discounted in life and in value. I believe we're in the fascination economy. And what we can do best is help somebody realize that, help them break through what's stopping them, and create a step-by-step formula where they can actually get paid to share their story. They can get paid to share their message. They can get paid to share their experiences, their wisdom, all of that stuff, and package it in a way to where they can create an entire business and lifestyle around that. And not only do we have the formula, but then we have the tools and the vehicles to help them market themselves and get themselves out there, which is also why you and I are working together, because we complement each other in helping people do that.
So you're saying people can get paid to do it?
You got it. You got it.
Happens to be our escape
Get
dates.
paid for who you are, right?
Get paid for who you
are.
Get paid for the lifestyle that you want to live.
And a lot of people don't believe that.
Get paid for your passion.
Yeah, get paid for your passion. Like, why shouldn't you?
Don't people think that most people think their passion should be altruistic, don't they?
People think I got to work my job and then I'm going to go do the thing that I love. I just don't believe in that. I
Isn't
really,
that funny?
I just don't.
That's a huge point.
It's harder to do that. It may seem initially you can make money more quickly with a system that's set up, or go somewhere else. Let me make money here, and sure, you'll make money. I mean, you might make progress faster financially, but in terms of long-term progress and your overall mental health and stability and your welfare of your family and your lifestyle and all that stuff, if you're doing the thing that you love, I mean, you're going to come home with more energy to the family. Right? You're going to be more lit up when you're in front of customers. You're going to attract bigger opportunities to you. You're going to have more confidence to say, hey, I want to get paid more. I mean, go this route of what you love to do, because in the long run, it's such a rewarding journey. And yeah, is it going to be challenging? Of course. Otherwise, you'd be bored if it wasn't challenging, right?
Yeah. You know, it's funny.
All the more reason to have the peer group.
Yeah, we talked about the bicycle example. I think people may believe they could make money doing their passion, but it's that anxiety of not having the knowing they could do it. Here's living proof of it right here.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm living my passion.
Right.
I love it. I know every day I wake up and I get in front of my computers, I'm going to love what I do for the day.
Yeah, and it was the scariest thing that I had to do was to, I left corporate America and I left a huge, huge income to say, you know what, I'm going to cut it off, and I'm leaving and I'm jumping into something totally new. I always use the analogy. I was on the top floor of the SunTrust building, and I walked to the edge of that building and I jumped, and I knew I would grow wings, but I bounced a hell of a lot of times on the way down because I didn't have the peer group. I thought I knew about business I knew it in the old economy. I didn't know it in the new entrepreneurial economy. So I had to get around the right people, the right peers, which is why everything that's happening with the community and escape dates and the community that I'm building with RizeGlobal in my organization, having that community and peer group is so critical to staying the course with your passion, because your friends and even family members and people could throw you off if you're not in the right group of people.
And right now, they can join that community for free.
Yeah.
And they find you on escape dates under RizeGlobal, right?
RizeGlobal.
R-I-Z.
R-I-Z-E Global.
Yeah. RizeGlobal. So, I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
That was incredible value, and I hope escape artist readers, I hope you'll take the time to look at Ted's material online and to get to know him. I think this is a great example of where Escape Dates is going and in the way it's going to help people with their businesses. But when you look at growing your life, and we've always said we think maybe 90–95% of the people come to our site ever realize their escape artist dream. And I truly believe in just some of the nuggets that you've got today, that you have an opportunity to join in Escape Dates, join in Ted's personal global social network, and realize your dreams. Now's the time. So
Now is the time.
I really appreciate your time. Thank you
Yeah,
very
man.
much.
Thank you.
So, we're signing off. Look for more interviews upcoming with Escape Dates members, and maybe we'll be interviewing you one day on Escape Dates and put you out there and help you promote your business and help you realize your escape artist dream. So we appreciate your time. Thanks.